just the uncertainty, not being around my children. It took me a minute to get my mind right. And even after I thought my mind was right, my mind still wasn't right. It was extremely humbling, but it also showed me who was there for me and who wasn't there for me. It was tough. I wasn't any good to myself, so I couldn't have been really good for anyone. Cause I was like stark raving lunatic. I wasn't out here like doing drugs and nothing like that, or busting people upside the head with bottles and nothing like that. My brain was just constantly on go. I was sad, to go from something to nothing. And then just really being at a nothing space, because the people who meant the most to me, my children, I didn't have them with me. And that hurt like crazy. It's something that I think about, the times not with my children, but what I do love now is that I have a beautiful relationship with all 7 of my children. And we can laugh, we can cry. They come to me damn near about everything. We have a crazy line of communication. They always say, "Mommy, you so mean. You don't be understanding." And I tell them, "Man, I understand a lot more than what the hell you think I understand." They say, "Mommy, your delivery isn't always right." Sorry, but I'm just telling you the truth, but we have a good relationship. I talk to my kids. We have a family text. We laugh. We send each other funny memes, and we talk shit. Cause
This is the Mercy Capital Court, powered by artificial intelligence.
I didn't hurt her.
Hey, yo, what's good, y'all? Just touched down in NYC, about to slide to the way.
When we come through, better get out the way, cause so looked up and he beat his case. Clap, all I need is a beat. I can say anything on a song and it's still gonna slap.
We're challenging the standard of what comes standard with the next generation GMC Terrain Elevation. Get this low mileage lease on this 2026 GMC Terrain Elevation for around $299 per month.
For parents of children with eosinophilic esophagitis, or EOE, you can treat your child's EOE or just deal with symptoms. Dupixent reduces inflammation in the esophagus and helps relieve EOE symptoms that give kids trouble with food.
Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away if you have trouble breathing or wheezing or swelling of your face, mouth, tongue, or throat. Tell your doctor of new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection or asthma. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor.
Trouble with food? Ask your EOE specialist about Dupixent.
that's what we do. And that's what makes them smile, because they all know that they all have each other now. And they know they have.
You was telling me that Craig Mack, he kidnapped your kids at one point?
Yeah, he did. He wasn't supposed to take them out of New York. Sorry.
Nah, it's okay. It's okay. But how does that happen, though? Him taking your kids?
He just up and left. Like he was living out there, and a friend of mine was supposed to go pick up some papers from him, and he told her, "Well, I'll have them, and you could send them to me." She was gonna send it to me, and he told her to for her to give him a few days to find what I needed. And she went over there. She had called a few times, she said, and he didn't answer. Because he didn't, I don't know, she was calling the house phone. She said he didn't answer. So she said when she got off of work one day, she rolled by there and she went up on the porch and she knocking on the door and ringing the bell. And she said a neighbor came out and was like, "Oh, you looking for Craig?" She was like, "Yeah." And the lady was like, "They moved." And she was like, "Where?" And she was like, "We don't know. He didn't tell us." And for a long time, no one knew where he was. And then, like I said, when that video came out of him in the church, then we were able to kind of we could track him down to where it was. And that was just crazy. That was a hot mess, you know. So, yep, that's how that went.
Did you report it to the police?
Initially, no, I didn't. I knew that my children were with their father. There was no custody agreement. He did not have custody and I didn't have custody. It wasn't anything like that. My children were with their father, who had a stable home for them to be in at that time. There is no rule that says, the mom has to have the children. I thought they were in the best place at that time. And then when I couldn't find him, I was just like, well, where is he? And everyone's like, we don't know. And then to have him pop up in that cult church. And I did speak with the police down there. But by the time I spoke with the police down there, they were big. They weren't little children anymore. And, the cop told me, I was like, well, I'm going to come down there. And he was like, look, you come down there, I'll take you over there. He said, but they're not going to let you on the compound. And when you come to the compound, it's a gate, like it's gated. And he said they will drive to the entrance of the compound in pickup trucks with shotguns. Yeah. And they will not let you in. They are very tight-lipped about speaking to someone, well, can you tell Craig to call me? Yeah, whatever. Click, just not very hospitable people at all. But like I said, that's something that you would have to discuss with them, with my children, because I don't know about the complete inner workings down there. They know a lot more than me because I only got my information from them. So.
Everyone's gearing up for the holidays. In a Chevy of their choice. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Roxanne finally made it happen. Finally got you on the platform. Me and you've been talking for about 2 years now, I want to say. For those who may not be familiar with you, let the people know who you are.
My name is Roxanne, and I am the ex-wife of Craig Mack.
And before we get into Craig Mack, I gotta say, you did a great job in that Diddy documentary. How did that come about?
I was it's a crazy story, but it's like so typical of a Roxanne thing. I was in Sam's Club with my husband, and we were in there doing some shopping. And I remember it was cold because I had on my big North Face coat, and I had my earplug in, ear pod or whatever, and my phone was in my pocket, and my phone had rang. But by the time I got to my phone, I had missed the call, and I looked at it and I seen that it was a phone call from Eric Sermon. And I love Eric. Um, Eric is family. So I called him back. I'm just like, hey, what's good? Everything okay? What's going on? And Eric was like, hey, they doing a Diddy documentary, right? I was like, I heard about it. I was like, I didn't think it was really gonna be happening, and he was like, yeah, it is. And they would like you to be in it. I was like, oh, word? And he was like, yeah. And um, he I was like, oh, I'm scared. He was like, well, I'm gonna be in it too. And I was like, okay, well, I'll do it. I'll do it. And I asked my husband, was it okay? And I spoke with my children, with Craig, to ask them if it was cool with them, and everyone said yes. So I went and did it.
Yeah, the story you told in that documentary, man, was crazy. How did it get that bad between Craig Mack and Diddy? Like, how did it get to that extent?
Craig didn't want to be on Bad Boy anymore. He didn't like the vibe. He didn't like the feel. He was being restricted as far as the direction he wanted to go. I believe Craig wanted to go one direction with his music. Puff wanted him to go a different direction, and Craig wasn't budging. He is a tourist, so tourists just kind of bullheaded. He was just like, no, I want to do it what I want to do. And I don't believe they were able to come to a happy medium. And Craig was disenchanted. We were broke, living show money to show money, and still had bills to pay. And he just he wasn't happy there, you know. All the glitz and glamour, it wasn't worth the headache for him at that point. And there were other, little shady things going on that we were finding out about, and he was just like, really? So the $100 thing, and then another thing happened, and he was just tired, you know. He was tired of being there. I remember one time Craig had a video to shoot, and the video was Making Moves with Puff. So that day, Craig had a routine before he went to go do a video. He, would want to go get his hair cut first, and, you know, get that iconic afro tightened up, and he would want to go get new socks. Craig had a thing about fresh white socks. He wants socks. He went and got some new Timberlands. I believe they were black. He got some black jeans, and he went and got a fresh black t-shirt, just a regular black tee. And, got all his stuff, got showered, and, you know, let's go. And we went down to the video shoot, and it was in the Wall Street area, and it was a nighttime shoot. So we got down there. It was in the evening. Um, and it was shot. I don't know the name of the building, but it's iconic because it had like a statue, like a statue of like George Washington maybe sitting there, and it's has these columns, and it looks real politicky, it's real political looking, and it had the